The card I have in my hand is the most expensive One Piece card I own, and unfortunately, most people won't be able to get this card today. So I'm going to share some info and tell you guys about Bandai's blunder. So before we share stories about the early One Piece card days, let's show the card. I know you're not surprised it's a Luffy, at least you're not if you watch any of my shorts, but there is a reason I'm sharing this card. You might think this card isn't special, but it actually is. You see, Bandai made a mistake. When they translated this card over from the Japanese, they missed a couple of key words. And trust me, they're important if you play the game. I'll show you what I mean by first taking a look at the intended translation. This card I pulled myself from one of my 4 or so Romance Dawn boxes. I got them all under or at retail price, and that's pretty crazy to think about today. You can see on this card it says set up to one of your cards. You don't have to choose one. However, on the original printing, the mistranslated printing, it says this, set one of your cards. That's wrong. So Bandai had to correct the error with what's called an errata. So in the card game, no matter which version you have, they now all mean set up to one. Now they actually did this for a bunch of cards in the first set, and we're going to get back to why this is critical in a moment. But first, let me show you a couple of boxes. This is the Romance Dawn box, and this is the Paramount War box. Paramount War was actually the very first set that I was able to get from my local game store. I got in about the spring of 2023. However, I had the chance to buy some Romance Dawn boxes on TCG Player for about 120 bucks in November of 2022, and I wish I had done that because I never did. As you can see, the bottom of the Romance Dawn box is white. That signifies the reprint. This is post-errata, post-correction that is. Any cards contained in these boxes should be translated correctly. So what was different with the earlier Romance Dawn boxes? Well, the very first printings of Romance Dawn booster boxes had a blue bottom. And they might have been slightly smaller too, I think. Those boxes I could have bought in November 2022 were probably blue bottom. Yikes. So blue bottoms are a way to signify pre-errata, but I found on Reddit a few months ago that potentially not all blue bottom boxes have pre-errata cards. I don't know if that's true or not though. Now back to the card then. Luffy has always been the most popular One Piece character, officially, according to the polls. And this Luffy is pre-errata, so it's first printing, pretty much first edition. With this in mind, I truly equate this card to be a first edition base set Charizard. And I've been in Pokemon for years, both as a collector and as a player. And honestly, that's probably why this card is so expensive and so unreachable for most collectors out there. But that's also because there aren't just a whole bunch of these bad boys in existence. It makes me wish I would have bought the other PSA 10 pre-errata Luffy that I saw about a year ago for 300 bucks. My bad. Now I got lucky enough to buy this card on TCG Player and grade it for under 300 bucks total. And I guess you can't really do that anymore. Oh, and I want to mention one other thing. You got to be careful if you are buying these because PSA mislabels them. Sometimes the errata versions don't have errata on the label. They all should. So if you buy one that has the wrong text, make sure you buy it at the correct price, or just stay away from them entirely. So to wrap up, this is the first edition Charizard of One Piece. Let me know if you agree with that. I'm Graded Noah, and I'll be back with more.